My name is Joelle Maddox. I'm 30 years old, 7 months pregnant, and standing in my late grandmother's kitchen in Savannah, Georgia, the house she left to me and only me. My sister Nadia was supposed to be helping me restore it. My husband Craig was supposed to be standing beside me. Instead, the two of them were standing across a courtroom, trying to prove I was mentally unfit to own property. They almost succeeded. But what they didn't know was that my grandmother, the sharpest woman who ever lived, had seen this coming before any of us, and she left me something far more valuable than a house. She left me the truth, locked in a fireproof safe behind the pantry wall, with a note that read, "When they come for what's yours, and they will, open this." Before we continue, take a second to like and subscribe. But only if this story truly hits home. And drop your city and local time in the comments. I want to know who's listening right now. Let me take you back to where this started. I grew up in a small brick house in Savannah with my older sister Nadia and our grandmother, Opal Maddox. Our mother passed when I was 6. Dad left before that. Grandma Opal raised us on sweet tea, church on Sundays, and one rule she repeated like scripture: blood doesn't make family, loyalty does. I didn't understand what she meant until much later. Nadia is 3 years older. She was the loud one, the charming one, the one who could talk her way out of anything. Teachers loved her. Neighbors adored her. And Grandma Opal saw right through her, but I didn't. To me, Nadia was everything I wanted to be: confident, fearless, impossible to ignore. I was the quiet granddaughter, the one who helped Grandma Opal in the garden, who sat with her on the porch swing while she told stories about our family's history in this house. 4 generations of Maddox women had lived within these walls. The floors creaked with memory. The magnolia tree in the backyard had been planted by my great grandmother's hands. When I was 24, I married Craig Hollis. He was an insurance adjuster, steady job, easy smile. He fit into our family like a missing puzzle piece. Or so I thought. Grandma Opal was polite to him but distant. She'd watch him from a rocking chair with an expression I couldn't read. "That man smiles too much," she told me once. I laughed it off. She didn't. When Grandma Opal was diagnosed with heart failure at 81, I moved back into the house to care for her full time. Nadia visited twice in 7 months. Craig helped when it was convenient, which wasn't often. Grandma Opal passed on a Wednesday evening in March, quietly, holding my hand, the porch light on because she always said she didn't like dying in the dark. 2 weeks later, her will was read. She left the house, a 4-bedroom historic property on a tree-lined street in Savannah's landmark district, appraised at $640,000, entirely to me. Nadia's name wasn't on it. Craig's name wasn't on it, just mine. The room went silent. Nadia's face went white, then red. Craig leaned forward in his chair, his smile tightening into something I'd never seen before. "That can't be right," Nadia said, her voice cracking. "I'm the oldest. She would have split it." The attorney read the clause again. Sole ownership. Joelle Maddox. No conditions, no splits. Grandma Opal had made it ironclad. Nadia didn't speak to me for 2 weeks after that. When she finally called, her voice was sweet, too sweet, like syrup poured over something rotten. "I'm sorry I reacted that way, Joe. I was just shocked. You deserve that house. You took care of her. Let me help you fix it up." I believed her. I wanted to believe her. She was my sister. That was my first mistake. Over the next 3 months, Nadia inserted herself into every corner of the renovation. She showed up uninvited with contractors I hadn't hired. She ordered materials I hadn't approved. She started referring to the house as ours in conversations with neighbors. "We're restoring the Maddox house," she'd say, as if her name was anywhere on the deed. Meanwhile, Craig started acting strange. Late nights, hushed phone calls he'd take in the garage, his phone always face down on the counter. One evening, I walked into the bedroom and caught him ending a call mid-sentence. He looked startled, then smiled that too wide smile. "Just work stuff," he said. I was 4 months pregnant, exhausted, emotional. I told myself I was being paranoid. Then my friend Danielle, who works at a title company downtown, called me on a Tuesday afternoon. Her voice was low and urgent. "Joe, someone filed a petition. to add a co-owner to your property. The name on the filing is Nadia Maddox Price. My blood went cold. That's impossible. I never authorized that. I know, Danielle said. That's why I'm calling. There's a signature on the document that's supposed to be yours. Joe, it's forged. I hung up and sat on the kitchen floor for 10 minutes, my hand on my belly, staring at the ceiling Grandma Opal had painted herself 30 years ago. My own sister had forged my signature to steal my home. I started digging. That night, while Craig slept, I checked his email. What I found destroyed whatever was left of my trust. Months of messages between Craig and Nadia. Conversations about the house, about its value, about selling it and splitting the profit. She'll never fight it, Nadia wrote. She's too soft, especially pregnant. She'll just let it go. Craig replied, I'll keep her distracted. You handle the paperwork. They weren't just conspiring, they were together. Photos in the thread confirmed it. Craig and Nadia at a restaurant, his arm around her waist. A selfie in a car, her head on his shoulder. Dates that matched every late night at work he'd fed me. I screenshotted everything, every message, every photo, every forged document Danielle had flagged. I saved it all to a flash drive and hid it in the one place no one would look, Grandma Opal's fireproof safe behind the pantry wall. The same safe I hadn't opened yet. When I finally did, I found a manila envelope with my name on it, written in Grandma's handwriting. Inside was a letter. Joelle, if you're reading this, someone is trying to take what I gave you. I knew they would. Your sister has your mother's charm, but not her heart. And that husband of yours watches this house like a man counting someone else's money. Inside this envelope, you'll find the original deed, a notarized copy of my will, a letter from my attorney confirming sole ownership, and recordings I made with my lawyer present of conversations where your sister discussed this house's value and her plans for it months before I died. I loved your sister, but I loved the truth more. Fight, baby. This house is yours. Grandma Opal. She'd known. She'd seen it coming before any of us, and she'd armed me from the grave. I didn't confront them right away. I let them think I was clueless. For 2 more weeks, I smiled at Craig across the dinner table. I thanked Nadia for her help with the house. I played the part of the soft, naive, pregnant woman they believed me to be. Meanwhile, I met with an attorney named Valerie Chen. I gave her everything: the screenshots, the forged filing, the recordings from Grandma's safe, Craig's emails, Danielle's testimony from the title company. Valerie looked at me over her glasses. Mrs. Hollis, this isn't just a property dispute. This is fraud, forgery, and conspiracy. Your sister could face criminal charges. Good, I said. My voice didn't shake. Then Nadia made her move. She called a family gathering at the house. My house, under the pretense of a pregnancy celebration. Cousins, aunts, old family friends, all crowded into the living room. I stood near the kitchen doorway, watching. Halfway through the evening, Nadia clinked her glass. The room quieted. She pulled out a folder and held it up like a trophy. I want everyone to know, she said, her voice projecting, that I've been working with an attorney to correct an error in Grandma Opal's estate. This house was meant to be shared equally, and I have documentation proving my right to co-ownership. Joelle has been refusing to cooperate, so I had no choice but to go through legal channels. She turned to me, her expression rehearsed, sad, concerned, sisterly. Joe, I don't want to fight, but this is what's fair. The room murmured. Some relatives nodded. Others looked uncomfortable. Craig stood in the corner, arms crossed, watching me the way you watch a chess piece you've already planned to sacrifice. I let the silence hold for 3 full seconds. Then I reached into my bag, pulled out my own folder, and set it on the table. Since we're sharing documents, I said, my voice calm, let me share some too. I placed the original deed on the table, then the notarized will, then printed screenshots of Craig and Nadia's emails, the ones where they discussed selling the house, then the photos of them together, then the forged signature Danielle had flagged. The room went dead silent. The signature on Nadia's filing isn't mine, I said. It's forged. My attorney has already reported it, and those emails confirm that my husband and my sister have been planning this together for months. I looked at Craig. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I looked at Nadia. Her face had gone gray. Grandma Opal saw this coming, I said. She left me proof. She recorded conversations where Nadia discussed taking this house before Grandma even passed. Nadia's mouth opened, but nothing came out. For the first time in her life, the woman who could talk her way out of anything had no words. My Aunt Lorraine, Grandma's youngest sister, stood up from her chair. Her voice was iron. Opal told me she was worried about this. I didn't believe her. Lord forgive me. I should have listened. Craig tried to leave. My cousin Marcus, 6'3" and built like a linebacker, blocked the door. Sit down, Craig, was all he said. The court proceedings took 6 weeks. Valerie dismantled the case piece by piece. The forged filing was entered as evidence. Craig's emails were read aloud. Grandma Opal's recordings played through the courtroom speakers, her voice, steady and certain, documenting everything she'd suspected. The judge ruled the house was mine. Solely. Permanently. Irrevocably. Nadia was charged with forgery and fraud. She pleaded down to avoid prison, but received 2 years of probation and a permanent mark on her record. The whispers followed her everywhere. Neighbors who once admired her crossed the street when they saw her coming. Invitations stopped arriving. The reputation she'd spent 33 years building collapsed in a single afternoon. Craig was ordered to pay restitution for his role in the scheme. I filed for divorce the same day as the ruling. My hand was steady when I signed the papers. He wasn't the man I married. Maybe he never was. I didn't hear from either of them again. No apology, no explanation, just silence. The kind that confirms everything. 2 months later, I gave birth to my daughter in the same bedroom where Grandma Opal had been born 82 years earlier. I named her Opal. She came into the world screaming, loud, fierce, certain of her right to be here. I held her against my chest and whispered, "This is your house. No one will ever take it from you." It's evening now, Savannah heat settling into something softer. I'm sitting on Grandma's porch swing, Opal asleep in my arms, the magnolia tree casting long shadows across the yard. Danielle came by earlier with groceries. Aunt Lorraine, calls every Sunday. Valerie sends a Christmas card now. These are the people who showed up. These are my family. The house is quiet. The floors still creak in all the same places. And sometimes when the light hits just right through the kitchen window, I swear I can hear Grandma Opal say what she always said. Blood doesn't make family. Loyalty does. If this story resonated with you, if it made you think about your own boundaries, your own betrayals, or the people who showed up when it mattered, leave a comment. Tell me, what would you have done? Would you have opened that safe? And if you want more stories like this, check the link in the description. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next time.